Hey, what's good, guys? It's your boy G Marcus TV back with a brand new video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, we are doing an episode recap and review at the end for BMF season 2. This is episode number 2. This was another fire episode. You guys know how we do on this channel. I give a recap, and at the end, I give what I thought about the episode. So let's just get straight to it. Terry's getting ready to go to work because, of course, you know, he has the cab service. So he's getting ready to go to work. His father comes in and he says that he doesn't really approve of how Terry is dressing. He's just like, okay, this is a business. This is not you selling drugs in the street. You gotta like change up how you dress. Terry had like a big Terry chain on, and the pops told him to take it off and put on a cross instead. So of course, Terry is annoyed. Of course, this is a 50-50 type of thing. Later on, Terry gets a customer and he gets frustrated with the customer because the customer is giving him directions. And he's telling the customer, listen, I know how to get there. You gotta take this way, this way. And remember, this is before Google Maps. Terry got frustrated and threw the customer out. It was a real funny scene. It was pure comedy, the first two scenes. Meech now has an ice cream date with K9 and his foreign girlfriend. Now this girl, she looks really good. She can speak different languages. So they discussed that they're basically going to use her to basically be with different connects. Like talk to different connects, use the language, because of course they don't know the language. So they're also talking about expanding in different states like Ohio and cleaning the drug money with clean money, investments like laundromats, those type of things. Next thing you know, a big drive-by happens. Now, the people who's shooting up the place, they can't shoot for shit. Nobody gets hit. But the funny thing about it was, the shooter's sneakers fell off. So I was just like, wow. So basically, he was on some Cinderella shit where this guy, he loses a shoe. So, Meech and Terry's mom, Lucille, she finds 4 magazines as she's cleaning up, which belongs to the father. So, she's hurt by that, which I don't understand. I'm like, what's wrong with having a little bit of porn? Like, I don't see the problem with that. Comment down below if you agree or disagree. But she finds the porn and she's really tight about it. So now it turns out that the family have a family trip coming. So, they don't really have a lot of money like that. So, he decided that he's not going to go because of money. But at the same time, Meech and Terry's sister, she needs bras, she needs panties, she needs to get a couple of things. So, of course, money is tight with them. They don't really have the money like that. Later on, the mom takes the sister to Sears, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that they put on the register that basically the mom couldn't afford. So, the cashier convinces them to get a credit card. So, Lucille puts it on the daughter's name, and basically they go on a whole shopping spree. The mom buys stuff, Terry's sister buys stuff, they just go all out. Now it goes to B. Mackey. He's in the hospital with his mom. His mom is in a bad condition. The hospital is terrible. The sheets is dirty. It's not really clean. Like, the mom is basically going through it. So, Detective Brian pops up and he basically tells him, like, yo, he needs more information on Meech. Basically doing his normal, regular shit where he's asking for information on Meech. So, he's basically threatening him, telling him, like, yo, like, you want to get your mom out this hospital? I can make some calls for you, but you got to make things happen because you got to give me some more information or else it's going to be a serious situation. Meech tells Terry that he'll be coming on the family trip, so Terry's just looking at him like, why the hell are you coming for? These guys, they're not on the best terms at the moment. So Meech tells him that not only is he coming on the trip, but he's actually going to bring drugs on the trip. It will be Mackie since they can't do it in the family car. Terry goes back to see his girl, Makisha. Of course, he was crushing on her from season 1 to the last episode. He asked her what would it be on the insurance to get a third driver. So, she actually gives us some game, and I love the character for that. I love when a girl gives you some game. Gives us a game and tells him, go to the airport, that's where he will get a lot of customers. She also tells him, yo, treat them good. Have some refreshments in the car, that type of stuff. So he asks her to come with him to get the refreshments, and she agrees. While he's there, he sees a flyer for one of the cab services, and he scratches the name off, and he puts his car service on the flyer. So now we finally get to Cleveland. Meech is there, the family is there. Terry is not there yet. So Meech, he gets his cousin to move some drugs for him at the video store that he works at. He tries to work with this guy named Terrell. This guy looks like a real pain in the ass. He looks like trouble. So they end up setting a meeting with Terrell later on. Well, he had the drugs and they'll pay him the money for the drugs. Lamar wakes up. As he wakes up, a security guard or a cop is at the door. They hear all the commotion, so they come inside the room, and Lamar chokes the out of this cop. So now Terry goes to the airport. He picks up some clients, and he takes them to places that taxi drivers usually don't go. So things is really working out for him at the spot. But of course, other taxi services that are there, and there's a guy that's trying to like basically tax Terry, like basically saying that, yo, you cannot do this here, you're gonna have to pay up. But of course he ignores them and he takes the customers. Later on he tells the pops about it, and the pops is just being a about it, saying that that's not the way to go. And Terry's just looking at him like, dude, like, this is 50-50. This is my money that's funding this business. You can't be shutting down all my ideas. And the father just doesn't give a So it cuts to B. Mackey. He's talking to Meech on the phone. So as he's talking to Meech, Detective Brian is banging on the door. Like, he's going crazy. So he goes by the door, gets off the phone with Meech, and B. Mackey gives him all the information for the drop that's about to go down tonight in Cleveland, where he's thinking that Meech is gonna be there. So now Terry has issues at the airport, where the flyer from earlier on, he scratched off the business and put his business, sees him, and now he's really pissed off. So he just tells him like, yo, don't do that again. So of course Terry just brushes it off. He gets the customer, now they're going on the road. So it turns out that he's actually going to be late because there's a whole bunch of roadblocks. It's going to be a longer time to take to get there. So he gets out the car. He was supposed to go call the customer and tell them that he's going to be a little late, but instead he calls Meech. He's calling Meech, and Meech thinking that is B. Mackey, but he's a little distracted, not really paying attention to the phone, so he hung up the phone. So now Terry is aware that, wow, B. Mackey's not even there yet. So he decides that he's going to be the one to bring the drugs. So Terry, he comes in on Saki and Dink as they're chilling and just dancing and everything. He comes in on them and he's demanding the drugs. So they're just looking at him like, you're not in the game no more. We don't have to answer to you. This is Meech's shit. He still ends up taking the drugs away from them. So now Meech's mom tells her mom about Meech selling drugs, about basically how the marriage is falling apart. Basically life ain't. They're struggling, they're going through it, and the grandma just tells her, hey, things are gonna get better, don't worry about it. Just gives her some nice, comforting words. Terry, of course, has the drugs. He puts the drugs in a baby food container where it looks like it's powder, but it's not powder. He gets pulled over by a cop, of course, because they have construction. They have a couple of things going on, some checking points. And he's nervous. It's a really tense, nervous scene, but he gets away, of course. So after that, he brings the drugs to Meech, and Meech is just ungrateful as he's just like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you messing with the drugs for? And Terry just goes like, yo, like, why you basically being ungrateful? Like, yo, be appreciative that I brought the drugs. So they realize later that the product is missing. One of the packs are missing. So it turns out that the mom was about to feed the baby with the food, but they caught it just in time. So now Meech talks to Terrell. He got all his boys with him and everything, and he totally flips the script. Like, he takes the drugs away from Meech and refuses to pay the money. So Meech is just looking at him like, oh, you want to be tough because your boys is here, because you all deep. He's like, all right, got you. So Meech, he just ends up playing it off and, you know, basically on some like, yo, I'm gonna catch you later. So now Meech decides to pay Terrell a visit because, of course, he knows where he lives. He gives his mom help with the groceries. He comes in the house with her, and then who comes in? Terrell comes in. He sees Meech, and of course, he is shook. He's like, what the hell are you doing in here? So Meech basically tells him after the mom leaves the room that, hey, I know where you live. Now, everything is basically threatens to him and tells him, okay, now you work for me. You're going to give me my shit back, and you're going to follow orders. Detective Bright now raids the place that Big Mackey gave him. So one of the guys jumps out the window and breaks his leg. But even though he jumps out the window and everything, he didn't get away because as soon as he looks up, there's a whole bunch of cops pointing the gun at him. So he basically made an out of himself. So they got the little drug bust, but they have no Meech. And of course, Detective Brian is pissed off. So now there's a character on the show. I think the guy's name is Travis. He's talking all loud, bragging and he's even flirting with K9's girl, the girl from earlier on. Meeks ends up dropping off the money for K9, so K9 then shows him the guy who shot them earlier, the one that left his sneaker on some Cinderella shit. He shows him and the guy is f***ed up. The guy is bleeding out. The guy looks terrible. So now B. Mackey's mom is transferred, and that's because of Detective Brian. B. Mackey, he's happy as hell. He's just like, wow, no one's ever done anything like this for me before. So Detective Brian is also like, yo, we family, this is what family do. Really buttering him up, really trying to make him feel good and make him trust him. So now Meech sets up a meeting and he's talking to the guys and he's just telling him like, yo, when it comes to communication, you gotta let me know if you're not gonna show up, if you're gonna be there. Communication gotta be on point. Communication is key. And he also tells them that from now on, because of course they told him what happened with Terry when Terry came in and basically took the product. He said, yo, if I'm not around, the only person you report to is B. Mackey. Cuts to the parents. So she has on a nice sleeping gown, like it's a real sexy thing she has on. She's trying to seduce the father, so the father comes in, but the father pulls out the credit card information when the mom took out earlier on at Sears that has the daughter's name on it. So he's mad, he's really pissed off. Instead of him trying to clap that, this guy is over here mad. So they get into an argument and she just tells him that, yo, she found the porn magazine. This is why she's all dressed up like that. She's missing the past, how things used to be, and she's tired of them struggling. So he just responds like, yo, I wouldn't need these porn magazines if you just gave me some. Because remember in the last episode, he wanted to get some and she was not trying to get him some because she was tired. She had work in 3 hours. He basically said he doesn't feel like she wants him. He doesn't feel wanted. So now Meech and Terry, they run into each other in the movies where Meech was actually, he took a whole bunch of the neighborhood kids, including his sister, to the movies to see Coming to America. Terry pops up and they get into like a whole big argument because Meech is just looking at him like, yo, you cannot be in and out of the game like that. It's like, yo, leave my product alone. Leave the people alone. Like, you out the game, stay out the game. Like, leave it as that. Terry's just looking at him like, yo, you ungrateful. I still bring you the product. Like, your man's bailed on you basically, and I picked up for your man. So Meech just tells him like, yo, you do some shit like this again, I'm gonna f you up. Like, you're gonna get it. So they end up getting into a whole fight, and Meech said, yo, you do it again, I'm gonna bust you again. So guys, that's the episode. This is another episode right here. I would give this one a solid 9. I love the fact that they showed them scrapping in the movie theater. I love the fact that the mom, just bringing the parents into the storyline, giving them their own room to breathe and grow. I love that shit. I love the direction this show is going into. The rain scene though, that was crazy. When he was crawling in the rain, I'm like, damn. So guys, tell me what you guys thought about tonight's episode. What you seen in the review that stood out to you. That was like, wow, this was funny, this was crazy, whatever. Let me know what's up. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe as I bring you guys videos every single week. Hit that notification bell to stay updated. Love you guys.
Got it, that's a wrap.